Hey Wildcats, welcome back. We're back again, and this week we're going to be doing a review over the fantastic show called Murder, She Wrote, with one of the most talented actresses to ever grace the screen and stage, Angela Lansbury. And I have here today with me Mr. Lance, who's been watching it since... How long have you been watching it?
Okay, so a very long time. And I'm going to let you guys know, especially for these new generations, I had an old TV that had like multiple knobs on it that had like different channels that I had to basically use the rabbit ears. That was like my growing up television, and it was probably about this large. It was very small. But I remember there used to be, after school, I used to come home, get my homework done, Education First Kids, and then after that, they would have like this marathon. There would be MASH, Murder, She Wrote, then it would be Knight Rider, and then I forgot the last one that was on there, but I think Murder, She Wrote was like one of my all-time favorite shows, which is crazy because it's about a woman that is, I think she was probably in her 50s or 60s at that point.
Yeah.
So she was she was a writer, and she would go on these crazy mysteries every single week. It was very Agatha Christie-esque. But the fun part is that no matter where she went, if she went on vacation, if she went on a train ride, if she went to the mall, there was a murder happening this week, and only she could solve it. So it was really cool.
Yeah. As a newer watcher, I just started watching this show around Christmas time because I'm a big Angela Lansbury fan. I've been followed her career for a long time. And I found the show, and I was like, this is interesting. I like murder mysteries. And so when I got into it, I was just like, oh, I've hit the mother load. Like this is, and what I love about it the most is probably that none of them really connect to each other. It's a different story each time. It's a different murder. It's a different way, and it surprises you every single episode. Like it just breaks the pattern every time. And what I kind of think is humoring is, like you said, everywhere she goes, there just happens to be someone that's dead.
Yes.
And she just happens to be there to solve the murder. And it just be like perfect, but yeah, the show's really intriguing.
Yeah, her name is Fletcher, right?
Yes, Jessica Fletcher.
Jessica Fletcher, that's her name. I remember that. And I also remember I loved, as far as from the viewer's point of view, kind of taking that apart. You don't know who caused the murder at the beginning, but you see the murder happen. Mm-hmm. So you see whoever the poor unfortunate victim is at the beginning. They might pick up the phone, and then you'll see the murder weapon, like the candlestick, and it'll come down, but someone will have like a glove on or whatever. You don't know who it is. And so the show keeps you guessing the entire time to figure out how that happened and why it happened. And I think the dragon and Murder, She Wrote that really keeps me interested in coming back for more is that every single week it's a character study.
Yes.
It really is a character study when you're looking at it and you're breaking it down, because everyone did a wonderful job on that show exhibiting all these wonderful different personalities. Mm-hmm. And they brought in movie stars of, I believe, the 70s and 80s, that time period, big names, soap opera stars, all these people that you would recognize that would come in and kind of do these kind of like winks almost to the camera because you knew who they were. Yep. And they were playing these roles that were so diverse. It's a wonderful show. And the great thing too, especially for today, and this is from a dad's point of view, maybe not a student's point of view, is that it's all clean. I know there's a murder every episode, but it's G-rated. There's not any bad language. There's no, things that I could have my 7-8-year-old son watch it and then there's no problems. And so it's a fun time that you can have with the families, because today, even if you go on your normal stations, your ABCs and whatever else, not try to just focus on them, but there's a lot of content out there that comes on at 5, 6 o'clock that is inappropriate for kids. The crime dramas of today, it's very bloody, can be very gory. They talk about things that are very inappropriate, especially for kids that are in middle school and lower school. And so I kind of stay away from the nighttime dramas that come on. Mm-hmm. And they even have the cartoons, I'm not trying to diss Family Guy or anything like that, but there's a lot of inappropriate things that come on. Yeah. And TV from the 70s and the 80s, this period of time, was a lot more for general audiences and for everybody, and they could deal with very complex issues like murder and suicide and depression and all these different things, but they did it in a way that was broken down, that was good for the entire community, and not just trying to gross you out or push the limit or be very, very progressive on how far and what they can get away with on nighttime television.
Yeah, like that. One of the episodes I recently just watched, Jessica went to some place in the Midwest, and for some reason this one place still has like no cars. It's still horses, and it's very like old Western vibes. And they almost have a Blazing Saddles situation in this, ironically.
Oh, no.
So we have the black sheriff, and no one in the town listens to him. And Jessica Fletcher's trying to help him solve the case. And that's it plays with racism. It plays with all kinds of really serious themes and thematical elements. And I just love that about it. What I also love, like you said, Oso, is it gives an outlet for the viewers to see other stars from other shows or film. Like just the first season alone, I saw like so many people that, or like in different shows, like I saw a golden girl in there. I forget her name, and I know I'm gonna get hated for it, but I forgot her name. And then there's Len Cariou, who played Sweeney Todd on Broadway. Then there's Harvey Fierstein, who was in Mrs. Doubtfire and Torch Trilogy. And there's just like so many different people. So this show's almost like for everybody, because there's gonna be someone for everybody that watches television. Like if you watch Law and Order, Jerry Orbach was in it. If you watch Golden Girls, What's-Her-Face was in it. There's just an opportunity for everybody, and I love that about it. And it's just a show that you can put on in the background and you watch. Like, you can have the intention to put it on the background, not really pay attention to it, but then you instantly get hooked once it happens, because it's never the exact same thing. And what I also love is it's almost like an ensemble of different characters each time, because the stories don't correlate to each other. So it's different actors each round, and so I just love that aspect, because it doesn't get stale. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have room to get stale. And so it continues being this very dense and complicated story each time.
Yes.
And what I also love about this is a little AV thing. I love how at this point they would kind of slip up with their productions. Like I was watching an episode and I see the camera bopping in and out of frame, and I'm just like, ah!
Oh, like the boom mic?
Yeah, the boom mic.
The boom mic coming in and out.
And you can hear the sound difference because Jessica Fletcher goes, "Where is the murderer?" And like it goes in and out. And I love that about this, because there's like little Easter eggs, and it's really sick. And they also reference a lot of her career, because Angela Lansbury did a lot. She was a stage actor. She was an Oscar-winning actor. She did television for almost a decade, held that primetime spot for years. And so like there's just these little Easter eggs for all the little nerds of film and theater and television that you get to watch. So I love this show. It's really cool.
Yeah, and for the viewers out there that don't know who Angela Lansbury is, even though that she has an incredible, like, I know, but there are going to be some people like, who is this person? Okay, Miss Teapot on
Mrs.
Beauty,
Potts.
Mrs. Potts. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mrs. Potts on Beauty and the Beast. Okay,
Yes.
so that is, yes, tale as old as time. That's Angela Lansbury. Okay,
Yep.
for those that may not be familiar with Broadway or any of those things like that. So let's kind of bring it down to the end of the show. What would you rate it out of 10? 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What Murder, She Wrote? Where does it fall on that scale?
1 million easily. I see no flaws. I see
Okay,
no
good.
flaws with this show.
Honestly, for me, it's one of those things that I've actually gone back to several times. I think it's Murder, She Wrote and Quantum Leap, which is another series that I love. But that both of those, I would rate it probably an 8.5 out of 10, because it is something that you can share with your whole family, you can go back to, and there's not any bad scenes or anything like that.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for coming down to do this show. And thank you, Wildcats, for watching. And make sure to watch Murder, She Wrote. I'm pretty sure it's on Peacock. And if you have NBC, because it's owned by Universal, you can find it there. Or if you're old school like me, buy the entire show on DVD. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. And make sure to check out Murder, She Wrote. Bye, Wildcats.